Hello and welcome. My name is MisterInSayne, and I recently posted a crappy video of this crazy redstone contraption on Reddit, and it blew up, which I really didn't expect. So I kind of want to say thank you to everyone for all of the compliments and praise that I got. I worked quite a long time on this to figure it all out, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of people really loved it and asked if I could do a tutorial. So I'm gonna try and walk you through how it all works, all of the mechanics that are involved, and some of the problems that I faced. Because I really wanted it to have all of the pistons go one tick after another, instead of draw back in instantly, or at least all at the same time, which would have been a lot easier, but I really like how it looks like the room just slowly folds out on itself and makes it appear. Um, I really like that it's just like, it looks like a normal hallway, so you can put it in one of your mine shafts or something like that. Anyway, I love it. I spent a lot of time on this, so let me show you how all the parts work. Alright, so this is the outside of the building, and whilst I was setting up for the tutorial, I accidentally found an improvement I can make for the top bit. This is still the old design. The newer one is both faster and more compact. This is also the first time I've used observers at all, and all of the designs I could find online had issues with cross-activating each other when used in a one-tick sequence of each other like this, or had interference because of block updates, which I had to work around and ended up having to invent my own custom designs for everything. So I'm sure there's still many of ways to improve on all of the designs, but basically the top bit is a double downwards extender. The bottom one is an upwards one, just a single. The pillars are double sideways, and in between there's triple ones, which is the one I'll go over first. So this is the design of the triple piston extender. It's on a 10-tick cycle, which is basically a stone button. But I want it to be activated by a lever, so I have a 10-tick pulsar, which allows a lever to do it as well, which I like a lot more. It's built by having a upwards facing here, then a downwards here and upwards here with a block in between, then 3 facing the input, another block here, 2 repeaters, and then at the bottom there is a row of 3 repeaters, each set to 2, with these blocks are important. And the input is a repeater. You can set it to as much as you want. For me, I use them like in sequence, so each one is one further than the other. And connect it up, put the pistons in, and there. And that's it. And then if you activate it, it should now be in sequence of one tick of each other, because these ones are set to 1 and 2. And it doesn't matter which direction it goes in, obviously. Alright. Nice. Next up is the double one, which there's 2 designs for. Because this one is used in the center bits, in between everywhere. Because the nice thing about the cross activation is that we can actually skip these top 3 when it's in between the triples. But on its own, it doesn't actually work like that. It can be this one can be sped up. It's on a 10-tick timer because they're right next to the other ones. But on its own, it doesn't work. But when set next to the triple one, it does, because of the cross activation of blocks and block updates. So for the one that is on the sides, on the outsides here, this one has a top bit to make it work even without the cross activation, which looks like this. The same design at the bottom, just the top, it has a little bit of added to the top. Which are made by a downwards facing here and here. Oh no, wait, that's an upwards facing. Then outwards facing here. One in the center. This one is upwards facing again. Two sideways here. The pistons. This block is important. The top one isn't needed. And there. And then I use two repeaters here because that nuzzles in really nicely. But you don't need to have to. I'll have to reset this for 1 sec. Boop. And that works like that. There you go. The one that's missing the top has the exact same design as the other one. So like this, but then missing the top three. So it's just the exact same with this one facing downwards. This one facing downwards, this one facing outwards, and then come on. And then two on the bottom like that, and then the pistons on top. Next up are the downwards facing one. This is the old design, which is actually on a 5 timer tick. So half a stone button basically. And they work pretty well, but basically whilst I was setting up, I set up a setup where I was gonna show that the compactor version doesn't work. Because it does that. Because cross activation. But then I found out that if you remove the top ones, it does work perfectly. So that kind of messed it up, and I could strip off half of the components and compact it into this. And you can add more to this. It's a very basic design. Basically, one block here, there, this, upwards facing observer with two repeaters again on it. I'll set this one to 4 so that they're all in line. Add this. Add 2 pistons under it. And now it should have 4. There we go. Nice. And then lastly, we have the upwards one, which is actually the easiest one. Just have observers facing from the input forward, and then an observer on each one with a piston on it and a block of your choice. There we go. And then when you activate it, it automatically does that and retreats. E. And lastly, I have a cutout of the whole system. You can just mirror this on the other side and copy this over as much as you want. The nice thing of this system is that you can make it as long as you want, and it can actually go up to infinity. So that's great. But basically the two ones here, all the glass is doesn't need to be solid blocks. Everything else has to be solid blocks in order for it to work. Also, the space between the pillars can be extended as long as you want, and you don't actually need the pillars. So you can actually, if you don't like the pillars, you can just have the triple ones as well. And when activated, it looks like this. Nice. All of this part is on a 10-tick cycle, and then the new and improved upper ones are on a 4-tick cycle. And the bottom is just instantly lever. And if you want the button, you can work with it as well, but the top will probably be slower. But it should work all fine. There you have it. For the method of making one tick further each time, I just used the repeaters and put each one on one tick further. Same over here. One thing to note is that the pillars need to be on both on one tick if you have this one on 2 ticks. So if this one is on 3 ticks, I'll show you how I set it up here to make it work. The middle ones are, it starts on this side, this is the lowest side, and then further and further, where the last one is 4, and then this one is on 1 and 3 to make it work. And then put 2 repeaters, it can be 1 as well, making the next part go on a 4 tick slower, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one on 4 as well. And continue that. This one is actually on 1 less by having 1 repeater here and then 1 redstone here instead of the extra repeater. And the top one is set up like this, where this is the pulse generator. This is still the old one where this is a 5 pulse, but that can now be a 4 pulse. And then just one more pulse each time, or at least one more tick each time on the repeaters, and then eventually a 4-1 to spread it out again. One thing to keep in mind when you're placing your chests and stuff in your storage is that the second row where the dark wood is over here, this small cutout version, that's where the pistons will push the blocks, so you can't put any chests there. So below it and above it are all fine. As shown, these ones don't need to be solid blocks and can just be transparent. And that looks something like this, because the pistons just push them between them. And there you go. That should all be covered. If there's any questions, or if you want to see some improvements, or well, if you have any improvements, please let me know down in the comments, of course. I'm very sure there's still a lot of things that can be made better, or I'm pretty sure you can put a triple extender at the top as well and make it higher. It might even be possible to have a 4 extender sideways, but I'm not quite sure. You might need to use slime or something for that. Yeah, I would love to see new things and all the creative stuff. I also have some other projects I've worked on, and if you guys want to see any of those explained or just videos of it in general, please let me know. And good luck. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye!